Welcome back to the Loner Ranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. I've been in the mortgage business now for 35 years. I've closed tens of thousands of transactions, and I am ranked one of the top producers in the entire country. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag, because to be honest with you, I don't think it's bragging rights. What I think it is it shows that people continue to come back to me time and time again. So, don't take my word for it. Talk to my customers. Check out my reviews. Go to Google. Go to Yelp. Go to Zillow reviews. You'll see my reviews. They're as high as you can possibly get. And it's not because of anything other than great service, great rates, lowest possible interest rates, lowest possible closing costs. But mostly you get good reviews because of service. It's not because of rates. Okay. I've got the rates. Don't worry about that. Come to me. I'll take great care of you. I promise you will. So better than your bank, better than Rocket, better than your credit union, better communication. Now, I'm going to tell you, why do realtors and builders like to use my services? I'm going to tell you why, because this is what sets me apart. I have loan officers available 7 days a week, and mostly after hours as well. So when it comes to loan officer availability, realtors need to be able to get with a loan officer on a weekend or after hours, because that's when customers are writing contracts. That's when they're negotiating. So they need to make sure that they have the availability to reach a loan officer when that loan officer needs to be reached, because the customer may need an updated pre-approval letter, or they have questions about payments or cash to close on a different scenario. Your credit union's not going to answer your phone after 4:00 on a Friday, and you'll be able to get a phone call on Monday at 3. By that time, the house is already under contract with somebody else. That's why realtors want to use our services, because when they need us, they have us. So my realtors, and I have over 10,000 of them that are in my database, they get an email from me Friday at 4:00 that tells them which loan officer is on call for the weekend. And on Saturday at 10:00, they get a text from me that gives the loan officer's name and their phone number. So if they've got a client that needs to get pre-qualified, we got people on call right then and there. Now, listen, if for some reason you have to leave a message, it's only because we're on the phone with other people, but we will call you right back, I promise. Now, you can text as well, 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009. Call or text. But the best thing to do is get your application started. I like to see the application started. It shows that you truly want to buy. Now, listen, some of you may not want to buy for a year, 6 months. When's the right time to apply? Right now. Why? It gives us time to position you. Maybe there's something on credit needs to be fixed. Maybe your credit's great, but it's a 730, and I can bump you to a 760. And that means a 1/4 point better in interest rate. How about that? Would that be helpful for you? Maybe you think you need to reduce debt, so you plan on paying off certain debt, but when I look at it, it's the wrong debt to pay off. So I look at, how do I get the best credit score for a buyer? Why? Because it gives you a better interest rate. That's why. Wouldn't you think I'd want you to get the best interest rate possible? Your interest rate is in direct proportion to your credit score. Direct proportion to your credit score. So you want a great rate? Then you need to have a great credit score. That's what you need to do. So I can help you with that. Now, some of you may want to just look at numbers and see where you qualify. It's okay. I'll do a soft credit pull. I won't even start with a hard credit pull. Now, if you're ready to go to underwriting, you have to have a hard credit pull. But I can start with a soft credit pull. So let's get started. Start now. Listen, it's time. If you want to finally get out of that house, you've outgrown the one you're in, you had a baby, maybe you got a job promotion, maybe the house is just not good enough. Had a client call me up the other day. He wants to move because he can't stand his neighbor, so he wants to move. So these are all reasons people want to upgrade their home. And then if you're a renter, I don't even need to explain to you. If somebody has to explain to you the reason you should buy and you're a renter, I think we need to reevaluate your thought process. So no one should be renting out there unless you're totally transitioning and you have no desire to stay in any one location anytime soon. But I've got veterans right now I'm doing mortgages for in Texas that want to buy in Texas, even though they know in a year they're going to retire from the military and move to Florida. So they're like, why should I buy now? So you got a rental property in Texas. That's why. Develop rental properties. Listen, if you're a veteran, I can show you how to buy multiple properties using your VA and establish more wealth quicker than anyone else. Why? Because a veteran can get into a home for no money down, and that allows you to leverage more properties. So why would you be a renter when you're a veteran? Makes no sense. I can help you establish wealth. And listen, you're never going to get rich in the military. It's not designed for that, but I can help you be rich. I've got plenty of veterans that are filthy rich because they invested properly. Let me help you do that. If you have an FHA loan right now and you have mortgage insurance on it and you've had the house for at least 3 years, you might be in a position to get rid of your mortgage insurance. Now might be a good time to refinance. Get rid of mortgage insurance on a conventional loan. If you're a veteran, maybe it's time to look at a rate reduction refinance. You know you're eligible for a rate reduction refinance every 241 days. So listen, some of my veterans I'm actually discouraging refinancing right now, and some I'm encouraging. Why? You all have different circumstances, but some of you should refinance right now. And others, let's look at it and determine whether right now is the right opportunity. But here's the problem. You are a vulnerable target if you're a veteran. You're going to get bombarded with very, very slick salespeople that are very convincing about helping you refinance and saving you money with no money out of pocket. Listen, I do the exact same thing. However, you keep in mind that if interest rates drop a little bit more, you will miss that opportunity, because if you refinance right now, you can only do a refinance rate reduction type refinance. And you can do any refinance, but a rate reduction refinance for VA, you can only do every 241 days. So if you did it right now and then they drop another half a point in 3 months from now, you're not going to get that opportunity. So why wouldn't you go to a lender that might look at that and say, it's time to wait? Because I guarantee you, I promise you this much, there's not a lender out there that I know of that would solicit you for business and tell you to wait a little bit longer to refinance. But the loan arranger will. The loan arranger, CrossCountry Mortgage, he'll tell you if it's the right thing to do. He'll tell you, hold off a little bit. Let's just wait. And for others that are debt consolidating, come on, you need to get on the stick right now. Here's the thing. If you are overloaded with credit card debt, car loans, and you're struggling every month, but you have equity in your property, even though you may have a low interest rate on your home, I need you to call me before anything gets late. If you're late on one loan, I don't care if it's a $5 loan. If you're late on it, it's going to affect your credit, and then you might not be able to do anything to save yourself. So don't do that. Don't do that. Call me now. 813-213-4009, 813-213-4009. WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Watch me on Spotify, or no, don't watch me on Spotify. You can if you want, but you can listen to me on Spotify and iHeartRadio. You can watch this show on my YouTube channel at Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. Please subscribe to that for me. Do me a favor. Check me out on social media. Friend me on Facebook. Like me on Twitter, so we can communicate with each other. I appreciate it. Had a lot of people show up for my class this week. Also did an event with Age Rejuvenation. So you guys know, you've heard my story. First of all, you know I'm a 10th grade dropout. You know I lost both my parents when I was 15. I was orphaned. I had no money. I was dirt poor. I couldn't feed myself or my dog. I had a car repossessed. I got into trouble, doing drugs. I was not going in the right direction. I wasn't going in the right direction. And if it wasn't for people that cared about me and loved me enough to help guide me in the right direction and looked at me and said, your mom and dad were great people. I knew them well, but they would not have approved of your behavior right now and your habits. So we need to change that. So I had to really get my head on straight because I was not going in the right direction. And I was very resentful. I was resentful that I lost my parents. I felt like I had been abandoned. You know, there's a sense of abandonment even when people die. It happens. So I was very resentful, and I was rebellious. And so it took me a while, but I got my head on straight and got a good job in the mortgage business. Don't do drugs. And I was able to learn how to buy property. I focused on that really hard. I really focused on it hard. I knew that would my way to make wealth, and I wasn't making a lot of money. So I created a program called Leapfrog that helped me multiply the amount of properties that I could buy, where I wouldn't have been able to buy that many properties if I would have gone with conventional wisdom on how to buy real estate. So I have a different program, and I'm here to help each and every one of you so that you also are able to live a lifestyle that will be beyond your belief. Listen, I have more money than I ever thought I would ever have. I do. And listen, I'm telling you, I'm 10th grade dropout. That means I finished the 9th grade. This is the last grade. And I didn't even do very well in the 9th grade because that was the time my mom was dying. It was a very difficult time for me. But listen, I come to you from a place where I have already been there. I'm not coming from a place like Dave Ramsey, which I love. Don't get me wrong. But listen, he's super rich. I've been dirt poor. I've had no money. I mean, I'm telling you, no money. I spent a birthday by myself. I spent Christmas by myself. I don't tell you that to sympathize with me because there's nothing to sympathize with. It made me into the man I am today. It made me into the strength I am today. It gave me the work ethic that I needed because I live in fear every day that I'll be poor again. Now, that's a problem. And my shrink says that's a real problem that I have, that we have to address that issue. Okay. I'm working on that. However, it's been my demon and it's been my angel, because it's been my angel because it's helped me produce the amount of business that I wanted to. It's helped me be a good business person, be motivated, keep people motivated, help others. But on the other hand, it's a demon because I never feel like I'm doing well enough. Any of you subscribe to that same theory? It's horrible. It's not fun. It's not fun. However, it's created a lifestyle for me. I mean, many of you know, I have a beautiful home on the lake. I have several rental properties. I own a commercial building. I've got a yacht. I have boats in my backyard, jet skis, dirt bikes. I mean, you name it, I got it. But I got those after I had amassed my wealth and put myself into a position so I could retire without being concerned. If you're 50 years old and you don't have enough money to retire on, I'm telling you, you're going to get into some big trouble. And I'll tell you, let's just say that you're 50 years old and between you and your spouse, you have $120,000 in income. So how much money do you need to retire for $125,000 in income? Well, let's just say that you have a 401k with 200,000 in it. How much is $200,000 going to produce you in income? Well, it's going to produce you about $10,000 a year. How do you like that? 10 grand. Is that going to do it for you? I don't think so. So now you will have Social Security. So let's just say between you and your spouse, you got $4,000 in Social Security. So if you had $500,000, let's just say you have $1 million in a 401k right now or IRA. And let's just figure out at $1 million, how much will that produce me? And it will produce you $50,000 a year. So if you're living off 120, now you got 50. So you got 50 from your $1 million. That's $1 million you got in a 401k for retirement. Do you have $1 million? Because if you don't, you're probably going to run into trouble. Now, you got $1 million, which is really not going to give you that much money, but $50,000. So we got 50 grand divided by 12. That is not going to be enough for you to retire on. But here's what I'm going to do. I will help you develop a program so that you can save enough money so you can comfortably retire. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loner Ranger Show. We got more to cover. 407-706-3313. Call or text right now. 813-213-4009. Call or text right now, or WeBringYouHome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loner Ranger Radio Show.